The year was 1952, a time etched into the collective memory of a nation teetering on the edge of Cold War paranoia. Over the meticulously manicured lawns and stately monuments of Washington, D.C., radar screens flickered with an unsettling urgency. Unidentified blips moving with impossible speed and erratic trajectories painted a chilling picture for the air traffic controllers and military personnel watching in disbelief. Fighter jets, their engines screaming defiance against the night sky, were scrambled, their pilots pushing the limits of their machines in a futile chase. These mysterious targets would appear, then vanish, only to reappear moments later, mocking the advanced technology of the United States Air Force. This wasn't merely an isolated incident. It was a phenomenon, a clear signal that something unseen and unknown was traversing American airspace, sparking profound concern within the highest echelons of government. In response to this escalating enigma, the U.S. Air Force quietly initiated Project Blue Book. Its official mandate was clear: investigate and analyze reports of unidentified flying objects. However, beneath this veneer of scientific inquiry lay a more nuanced, almost clandestine objective. Many suspected that Blue Book was not primarily designed to confirm the existence of extraterrestrial visitors, but rather to control public perception, to manage the burgeoning fear and rampant speculation surrounding UFOs. This was the post-World War II era, a landscape scarred by the atomic bomb, rife with the specter of nuclear war, espionage, and rapid technological advancement. The fertile ground of uncertainty and anxiety created a perfect breeding ground for widespread UFO sightings, from shimmering lights dancing across distant horizons to objects performing maneuvers that defied all known laws of physics. Between 1947 and 1969, reports flooded in from across the nation and beyond. Military pilots, highly trained observers of the sky, recounted terrifying aerial pursuits, often describing objects that outmaneuvered their state-of-the-art aircraft with unnerving ease. The public, too, contributed a deluge of accounts, detailing everything from saucers hovering silently over rural towns to inexplicable lights performing choreographed ballets in the night. Project Blue Book thus found itself with a dual mission. Officially, it was tasked with assessing potential national security threats and scientifically dissecting every credible report. Unofficially, and perhaps more importantly, its role was to quell public panic, to provide rational, often mundane explanations for the inexplicable, effectively closing cases and reassuring a jittery populace. Yet the raw statistics painted a more unsettling picture. Out of 618 reported cases investigated by Project Blue Book, a stubborn 701 remained stubbornly classified as unidentified. These weren't simply anecdotal accounts from unreliable witnesses. Many involved multiple trained observers, often military personnel, and were frequently corroborated by undeniable radar data. These lingering uncertainties, these irreducible anomalies, raised uncomfortable questions about the government's prolonged investigation. If these objects posed no threat, if they were merely misidentified conventional aircraft, weather balloons, or atmospheric phenomena, why did the government dedicate 17 years to this exhaustive and often secretive inquiry? The question hung heavy in the air, hinting at motives far deeper than simple public reassurance. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. The lingering question about the government's true intentions found its most compelling voice in Dr. J. Allen Hynek, an astronomer consultant brought in by the U.S. Air Force to lend scientific credibility to Project Blue Book. When Hynek first joined the project, he was a staunch skeptic, a man of science who believed every anomaly had a rational, earthly explanation. He viewed UFO sightings as products of misidentification, psychological delusion, or outright fabrication. His initial role was to assist in debunking these reports, to provide the scientific backing for the Air Force's often predetermined conclusions. However, as the years passed and he delved deeper into the intricacies of Blue Book's operations, a profound shift began to occur in his perspective. He witnessed firsthand the often cavalier dismissal of cases, even those with compelling evidence from credible sources. Eyewitness accounts from military pilots, radar confirmations, and photographic evidence were frequently brushed aside with flimsy, hastily constructed explanations. Hynek's growing doubts were not born of a desire to believe in extraterrestrials, but from a frustration with the lack of rigorous scientific methodology employed by the Air Force. He observed that the primary goal seemed less about genuine investigation and more about controlling the public narrative, about systematically discrediting any report that challenged the official stance. This realization was a turning point, not only for Hynek himself, but also for the public's understanding of Blue Book's true purpose. His evolving views, eventually expressed openly, fundamentally altered the landscape of the UFO debate, transforming him from an Air Force ally into one of its most insightful critics. He would later admit that the project's true mission appeared to be one of debunking rather than objective analysis, a stark admission from someone so intimately involved. The erosion of Project Blue Book's credibility reached a critical juncture in 1966, an event that became synonymous with official obfuscation, the Michigan swamp gas incident. In March of that year, dozens of witnesses across Michigan, including law enforcement officers, reported glowing, pulsating objects hovering silently over marshlands. The sightings were widespread, consistent, and deeply unsettling to the local population. When the Air Force dispatched Hynek to investigate, his initial findings suggested a genuine mystery. However, under immense pressure to provide a quick, palatable explanation, the official conclusion delivered by the Air Force was that the objects were merely swamp gas, decomposing vegetation emitting phosphorescent light. The explanation was met with national ridicule. The idea that experienced police officers and ordinary citizens could mistake methane, igniting in a bog, for structured maneuvering craft was preposterous to many. The media seized upon the absurdity, and the public outcry was immediate and intense. The swamp gas incident became a punchline, a symbol of official condescension, and an undeniable blow to Project Blue Book's already shaky credibility. It intensified public scrutiny and put immense pressure on the Air Force to either genuinely investigate or admit its limitations. The incident solidified the perception that Blue Book was less about finding answers and more about fabricating convenient dismissals. Ultimately, the mounting pressure and the perceived futility of the project led to its official termination. In 1969, the University of Colorado published the Condon Report, a government-commissioned study that concluded there was no evidence of a threat to national security from UFOs, no evidence that UFOs represented technology beyond contemporary scientific knowledge, and no evidence of extraterrestrial origins. Based largely on this report, Project Blue Book was officially closed. The Air Force declared the case closed, officially stating that all significant UFO reports had been satisfactorily explained, and those few remaining were not indicative of anything extraordinary. Yet the very word, officially, carried a heavy, lingering doubt, suggesting that perhaps for some, the case was far from closed, and there was indeed more to the story than what the authorities were willing to admit. The notion that the case was officially closed proved to be a convenient fabrication, a temporary cessation of overt investigation rather than a definitive end to government interest. Decades after Project Blue Book's termination, a slow, often reluctant trickle of declassified documents began to emerge, each revelation peeling back another layer of the carefully constructed narrative. These documents, released piecemeal over the years, revealed inconsistencies, internal disagreements, and a persistent underlying concern within various government agencies that belied the public pronouncements of closure. They hinted at a shadow of continued surveillance, a quiet persistence in monitoring phenomena that the public was told no longer warranted attention. This piecemeal declassification fueled new research and rekindled the suspicions of a public long skeptical of official explanations, suggesting that the truth was far more complex than simple misidentification. Then, in a stunning reversal that sent shockwaves through the intelligence community and the public alike, the Pentagon admitted in 2017 to the existence of a new, secret program, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. This revelation confirmed what many had long suspected. The phenomenon of unidentified aerial phenomena, the modern terminology for UFOs, had never truly disappeared from government interest. The very existence of AATIP operating in the shadows for years directly contradicted the official conclusions of Project Blue Book and the Condon Report. It unequivocally demonstrated that despite the public dismissals, the U.S. government continued to allocate resources, albeit covertly, to investigate unexplained aerial incursions. This admission, accompanied by the release of compelling, declassified military cockpit videos showing seemingly impossible aerial maneuvers, reopened the enduring question with unprecedented urgency. The core inquiry, therefore, remains as potent and unresolved today as it was during the height of Project Blue Book. Was Blue Book genuinely seeking truth and national security, or was it primarily a sophisticated tool for narrative control, designed to manage public perception and suppress information deemed too unsettling? Dr. J. Allen Hynek's evolving journey, from staunch skeptic to vocal critic, stands as a testament to the project's inherent contradictions. His later efforts to establish a more rigorous, objective scientific approach to the phenomenon underscored his conviction that Blue Book had largely failed in its stated mission, choosing instead the path of convenient dismissal. The legacy of secrecy surrounding these events continues to perpetuate the mystery and foster a deep-seated distrust between the public and government institutions. Many files remain classified, their contents locked away from public scrutiny, ensuring that the full scope of Blue Book's activities and findings may never be fully known. Each redacted document, each withheld report, serves as a breeding ground for speculation, fueling the belief that a profound truth is being deliberately obscured. The unresolved enigma of Project Blue Book persists, a testament to the enduring human fascination with the unknown and the complex dance between government transparency and national security. The official narrative, however meticulously crafted, has been repeatedly challenged by leaked documents, credible testimonies, and the very actions of the government itself. The truth about Project Blue Book, its true motives, and the implications of its history may never be fully known, lost in the labyrinthine corridors of classified information and forgotten archives. Yet the questions it raised, the doubts it sowed, and the enduring mystery of the unidentified phenomena it purportedly investigated continue to resonate. The history of Project Blue Book stands as a powerful, unsettling reminder that truth, particularly when entangled with national security and public perception, is often a far more elusive and multifaceted concept than any official pronouncement would suggest. The skies above us, it seems, hold secrets that continue to defy easy explanations, demanding a perpetual vigilance and an unyielding commitment to uncovering what truly lies beyond our grasp.